Hi everyone, welcome to secretpleasuresboutique.com's Ask a Sex Educator series. I'm Luna Matadas and I'm your sex and pleasure educator here to answer some of your questions. If you'd like to see some of the questions that we've answered before and some of the related blog articles, head over to secretpleasuresboutique.com and scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll find those there, as well as your own opportunity to submit a question for us to consider answering. So today's question is all about anal and lube. So is using coconut oil a good idea as a lubricant for anal sex? So we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of using coconut oil as lube for anal. And I'm also going to give you some other potential lubricants that you might find better suited for your anal goals. But first of all, kudos for wanting to use a lubricant for anal sex. It's probably the best idea ever. The anus isn't self-lubricating and the tissue is very delicate, and it's a lot more fun and a lot less risk of pain or injury or discomfort if we're using lubricant for most kinds of sex, but in particular for anal sex, where we have to choose lubricants that are a little bit more longer lasting. And lots of people are attracted to coconut oil as a lubricant because it's natural. Some people really like the scent. You may already have it around the house as you're using it for other household uses like cooking or moisturizing. And so it can be something that's really convenient. And while those are some of the pros of it, some other pros are that people find that it's great to kind of use as a massage oil and then head over to do some penetration. They may like the silky sort of feel of it. And while there's some great reasons to use coconut oil for anal lube, we have to kind of just balance our understanding with some of the cons of using coconut oil as anal sex lube. So one of the cons, and it's one that sort of can go either way, is that some people don't like the scent of coconut oil. They find that it's just not something that really adds to their arousal. It may be distracting during sex, so the scent can also be a pro as much as it can be a con. And also in terms of staining, so any oil-based lube, whether that's baby oil or if you're using coconut oil, can potentially stain clothing or lingerie or sheets. And one way to mitigate that is to just have your sex sheets or lay down your like sex towel, set the mood by putting that out. You're kind of cueing what's going to happen. And so there's some ways around that. And one of the other big challenges with using any oil-based lube like coconut oil is that oil breaks down latex. So if you're using things like condoms or gloves or dental dams and counting on the latex being a barrier between yourself and the anus that you want to penetrate or play with, you are reducing the ability of the latex to be a strong barrier when you add oil to it. And one of the other challenges with coconut oil as a lube for anal is that sometimes you may cross-contaminate if the person that you're playing with has a vagina. The vagina already has its own ecosystem. And so introducing anything that has properties like coconut oil, which are antifungal or antibacterial, can potentially disrupt that delicate ecosystem and maybe cause the vagina owner some challenges if they're prone to yeast infections or UTIs or other just kinds of disruptions within their flora. But I mean, on the one pro I forgot to mention is that coconut oil is great if you're using any kind of sex toy and you're not concerned about some of the other cons that I just mentioned. And when you're thinking about sex toys, a lot of times the lubes that we recommend that for anal sex have silicone in them, and silicone lube on silicone sex toys doesn't mix. It degrades toys over time. So with coconut oil or any other kind of oil-based lube, you're more likely to have a compatibility with your silicone toys. So all in all, there are some pros and cons to using coconut oil as lube, but we have some other alternatives as well that help mitigate some of the cons of coconut oil, but still provide a lot of the same benefits, the silkiness, the long-lasting feature. And those are silicone lubes or hybrid lubes. So if we're looking at hybrid lubes that combine both water-based lubes and silicone lubes that provide a really nice long-lasting texture, or or a purely based silicone lube that's going to provide also a long-lasting texture to the anus that you're penetrating. The long-lasting part is important because a lot of times during anal sex, we also forget to reapply. So we just put it in the beginning, and then, we hope for the best. And it's really important to continue to reapply. And so if you are using something like coconut oil, make sure that you put it in a separate container, especially if it's already a solid and you're kind of scooping it out with a spoon or your hands. You don't want to cross-contaminate from your sexy play to the larger container. So scoop it out into something a little bit smaller, or use a liquid coconut oil that has a pump or a bottle that's easy to pour. My favorite lubes are listed in the blog article. I've given you options for water-based, hybrids, and silicone. And some of the other options that are out there may appeal to you as well. If you want something that's flavored, if you're looking for something that's warming, there's lots of really good innovations around lubricants that are specifically designed for sex. So keep those bums lubricated, keep them juicy, keep them all lubed up, and hopefully we'll have some more anal sex questions on our Ask a Sex Educator series. And if you've got questions, head over to secretpleasuresboutique.com and submit yours, and maybe we'll answer it in a future one. So thank you so much, and have a look at some of the other videos on the channel and learn some stuff and get the skills that you need to pursue your pleasure. And again, I'm Luna Matadas, your sex and pleasure educator for secretpleasuresboutique.com.